It was a Tuesday, one of those quiet midweek evenings that smell like rain and reheated pasta. I was half asleep on the couch when my phone buzzed, an unknown number flashing across the screen. Normally, I'd ignore it, but something, intuition or maybe boredom, made me answer. Hello? A pause, then a woman's voice, soft and hesitant. Is this Callum's wife? My heart did something strange. Half stop, half leap. Yes, I said slowly. This is Elle. Who's this? Another pause. Then, with the kind of confusion that sounds too real to fake, this is Callum's cousin, Sarah. I've been trying to reach him. He's not answering his other number. His what? His other number. The word slipped into my living room like a draft. He said this one was just for work, she added quickly, as if realizing too late that she'd said too much. He told me not to call his home line unless it was an emergency. I tried to steady my voice. What's the emergency? She hesitated. His daughter's been asking for him. And just like that, the world stopped breathing. Because Callum and I didn't have children. My name is Elle Verone, and at that moment, I realized the man I'd been sharing a bed with for 4 years had built himself a second life, one meticulous lie at a time. Callum was everything my younger self thought stability looked like, tall, deliberate, steady, in a way that felt safe. He was an architect, or at least that's what I believed. He wore clean shirts and came home smelling of cedar and graphite dust. But suddenly, the ordinary things felt like clues. The late nights, the phone that never left his side, the weekend site visits. Even his cologne, that faintly metallic sweetness, suddenly felt like something I'd ignored for too long. That night, after hanging up, I sat in the dark, replaying every conversation, every routine. And that's when I saw it. The corner of his laptop bag, tucked beneath the couch. He never left it out. I unzipped it. Inside were 2 phones. One I recognized, black case, cracked corner. The other was sleeker, newer, face down as if it were hiding too. I unlocked it with the same code he used for everything, 0314, our anniversary. It opened. The wallpaper wasn't us. It was a little girl, maybe 5 years old, with Callum's dark eyes. My stomach turned to ice. I scrolled through the contacts, found one saved simply as Mara, and beneath it, dozens of messages. Can you grab orange juice on your way home? Izzy's missing you. Don't work too late tonight. Love you. Home. Izzy. Love you. He hadn't just lied. He'd duplicated his life. Perfectly. I didn't cry. Not yet. Instead, I did something far worse. I got curious. Over the next 2 days, I built a map of his double existence. The address she texted him, a small house in Fairview, 30 miles from where we lived. His work projects matched weekends he spent with her. He even had different wardrobes for each life. Dress shirts here, t-shirts there. Different friends, different routines. But one thing was constant in every photo, every glimpse. His expression. Calm, charming, controlled. Like a man who knew exactly how to keep his worlds from colliding. Until now. I didn't confront him right away. Instead, I waited. For days, I played the role of the oblivious wife. Cooked his favorite meals, asked about his fake deadlines, kissed him goodnight. I wanted to see how long he could look me in the eyes while lying. It wasn't guilt I was studying. It was habit. By Friday, I had a plan. That morning, I called the number labeled Mara. She answered on the 3rd ring. Hello? Hi, I said, my voice steady. This is Elle. I think we need to talk about Callum. Silence. Then a sharp intake of breath. Who? I almost pitied her. Almost. Your husband, I said softly. The silence stretched, then cracked. No, this is some mistake. He has 2 phones, I continued, one for you, one for me. When she finally spoke again, her voice trembled with disbelief. You're lying. I wish I were. We met 2 days later at a cafe halfway between us. When she walked in, I recognized her instantly. Not because I'd seen her before, but because she was the version of me from a few years ago. Bright-eyed, trusting, still unscarred by deceit. She introduced herself, Mara Keene, and for a while we just sat there, studying each other like two sides of a cracked mirror. Then she pulled out her phone. "He told me you were his coworker," she said, voice breaking, "that you had a crush on him, that you'd been texting him weird things." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because of how perfectly rehearsed his lies were. "He told me you were his cousin." Her jaw clenched. "And Izzy?" "I saw her picture," I said softly. "She's beautiful." Her eyes glistened. "She's 4. He reads her bedtime stories, tells her about the office wife who's annoying him." That stung, but not as much as I expected. Because now his fiction was unraveling. We talked for hours, compared dates, messages, receipts. The overlap was surgical. He spent Mondays through Thursdays with me, the apartment uptown, the routine dinners, Fridays to Sundays with her, the suburban calm, the storybook family. He had 2 of everything, 2 cars, 2 wardrobes, 2 birthdays saved in calendars, even 2 personalities. Mara called him light-hearted, funny. I knew him as disciplined, precise. We realized something chilling. He was tailoring himself to us. I liked books, so he quoted authors. She liked movies, so he memorized scripts. He was never himself with either of us, just a reflection, warped to fit. By the end of that meeting, the shock had turned into something sharper: resolve. Revenge is an art form, the worst kind of art, the kind you create quietly, carefully, until it's too beautiful to be forgiven. We didn't want to destroy him. We wanted to erase him. Not physically, no blood, no crime, just erasure from both of our lives. And the irony was, he'd built the perfect structure for his own disappearance. 2 worlds so separate that once we pulled him out of both, he'd have nowhere to stand. The first step was confusion. We each started acting slightly off. I stopped texting him during the day, stopped waiting up at night. When he'd talk, I'd smile too easily, as if I knew a secret he didn't. Meanwhile, Mara started doing the same, leaving conversations mid-sentence, claiming she was busy, pretending to forget his stories. Within 2 weeks, he was unraveling. He started sending double messages, accidentally texting her what was meant for me, and vice versa. Mara forwarded them to me. "Miss you already, can't wait for Sunday. Don't forget we're seeing your parents tomorrow." Wrong names, wrong plans, and one perfect moment. A photo he sent to me of his office dinner, but the reflection in the window showed Mara's kitchen. That was the moment we knew it was time. We set the stage for his unmaking. A Saturday afternoon, late spring. I told him I was visiting an old friend out of town. Mara told him she was hosting her sister for the weekend. Both lies. Instead, we met outside his second home. It was smaller than I expected. White porch, yellow curtains, the smell of lavender from a front garden that didn't know it was part of a lie. We waited until he left, heading to a work meeting. Then Mara unlocked the door. The house was immaculate. Too immaculate. Every object placed deliberately, as though he'd arranged his life to avoid leaving traces of himself. Except for the small things, the detail that betrayed him. 2 mugs by the sink, 1 chipped, a pair of his cufflinks on the counter, a photo of Izzy holding a paper heart that said, "For Daddy." We stood there, silent, surrounded by the evidence of his counterfeit existence. "I can't believe he fooled us both," Mara whispered. "He didn't fool us," I said. "He fooled himself." We didn't destroy anything. We didn't scream or break things. Instead, we cleaned, wiped every surface, packed every trace of him into 2 boxes, one from my life, one from hers. When we finished, the house looked the same, but the air was lighter. Then we each left a note. Mine was short. "You've been living 2 lives. Now you have none." Hers was even shorter. "Don't come back." We left the boxes on the porch. his double existence in cardboard. That night, I turned off my phone. When I turned it on the next morning, there were 30 missed calls, then 10, then none. He didn't come home. He didn't go to her. In the days that followed, he tried reaching out, messages that shifted from confusion to anger to pleading. We can talk about this. You don't understand. I love you both. Please don't do this. That last one, I love you both, made me laugh. He'd finally said the only honest thing he ever could. Weeks passed. Then one morning, I got a text from Mara. He's gone. She didn't mean dead. She meant gone. He'd quit his job, closed his accounts, vanished from both addresses. No forwarding number, no trace. Like a ghost who'd realized the living no longer needed him. Sometimes I wonder where he went. If he started over again, a third life somewhere, maybe with a new phone, new name, new set of lies. But then I think of something Mara said the last time we spoke, standing in the empty Fairview house as the sun set through the curtains. He doesn't know who he is without someone to lie to. And maybe that's true, because men like Callum don't disappear to escape others. They disappear because they've run out of mirrors. 6 months later, Mara and I met again. Not out of trauma, but closure. She'd moved to another city with Izzy, found work as a teacher. Her laughter was lighter, unburdened. As for me, I started painting again, something I'd stopped when I met him.
My apartment was filled with half-finished canvases and the smell of turpentine, proof that I was building something real again. We talked for hours, then went quiet. Finally, she said, "Do you ever miss him?" I thought about it. The quiet mornings, the easy charm, the illusion of safety. Then I shook my head. I miss who I thought he was, but that person never existed. Mara nodded. It's strange, isn't it? We both lost the same man, but neither of us knew who he really was. Maybe that's the point, I said softly. Some people are lessons, not losses. Later that night, I stood on my balcony watching the city lights flicker like distant promises. The world felt vast again, not empty, but open. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel like half of anything. I whispered his name once, Callum, just to hear how it sounded when it didn't belong to me anymore. Then I let it go, watched it dissolve into the hum of passing cars, into the night that didn't care. Because in the end, he didn't vanish. We did. We vanished from his story, quietly, deliberately, leaving him to wander the hollow space he'd built between his lies. And in that absence, we finally found something he never could, freedom. You've just stepped into her revenge side, where every wound finds its justice, and every silence ends with truth. If her story struck a chord, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive. Another secret waits in the next video. See how her revenge begins.